Hello, everyone. Welcome to our special documentary about one of the greatest environmental challenges of our time. Today, we're going to dive, quite literally, into a problem we created, but many of us still don't fully realize. It's invisible to most, but it's growing by the minute and affects all of us, even from thousands of miles away. I'm talking about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a monument to our throwaway culture that's suffocating our oceans. What you're about to see may shock you, but it will also inspire change. Let's get started. The Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on the planet, vast, deep, majestic. For millennia, these waters have hosted one of Earth's richest and most diverse ecosystems, covering about 46% of the planet's surface. But in recent decades, we've been transforming this paradise into something unrecognizable, something monstrous, something of our own making, the Garbage Island. What is the Garbage Island? Between Hawaii and California, in one of the most remote places on Earth, something exists that simply shouldn't. It's not an island in the traditional sense. You can't spot it from satellites. But it's one of the largest man-made structures on the planet, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a toxic soup of plastic and microplastics stretching over an estimated area between 700,000 and 1.6 million square kilometers. That's about 3 to 7 times the size of the state of Oregon, or larger than many countries. Formed by the currents of the North Pacific Gyre, this monstrous accumulation isn't a solid mass, but a concentrated zone of plastic debris at different depths, from large floating objects to nearly invisible. Microplastics scattered throughout the water column. It's estimated to contain more than 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic, weighing around 80,000 tons. And the worst part, it's growing by the minute. How did we get here? Plastic revolutionized our society. Cheap, durable, versatile. Since the 1950s, production has exploded. By 2023, we were producing over 400 million tons annually. But there's a fundamental problem. We created a material designed to last forever, and we use it in disposable products. Only 9% of all plastic ever produced has been recycled. The rest ends up in landfills, or worse, in nature, and a large portion of that waste, about 8 million tons a year, ends up in the oceans. Plastic trash finds its way to the sea in many ways. Urban sewage, polluted rivers, direct dumping from ships, abandoned fishing gear, and extreme weather events. A discarded plastic cup in Oregon could eventually make its way to the garbage patch. And remember, on planet Earth, there's no such thing as away. Impact on marine life. The first victims of this disaster are marine animals. Over 700 species have been documented suffering direct effects from plastic pollution. Turtles mistake plastic bags for jellyfish. Birds feed bottle caps to their chicks, thinking they are food. Whales wash up dead with dozens of kilos of plastic in their stomachs. Dolphins get entangled in abandoned fishing gear. Death comes through starvation, suffocation, or infection. The invisible threat, microplastics fragments smaller than 5 millimeters, result from the breakdown of larger plastics. They're everywhere, from the depths of the Mariana Trench to the ice of the Arctic. These microplastics absorb toxins like PCBs and DDT at concentrations up to 1 million times higher than the surrounding water. When ingested by small organisms, they start a process of bioaccumulation that affects the entire marine food chain, all the way up to us. Recent studies have found microplastics in 73% of commercially caught fish. Impact on humans on average. Each person consumes about 5 grams of plastic per week, about the weight of a credit card. They come from the food we eat, the water we drink, and even the air we breathe. Research is still ongoing, but we already know that microplastics can cause inflammation, DNA damage, and hormonal disruption. Microplastics have been found in human placentas, bloodstreams, and even lungs. Beyond health risks, there are economic impacts. Fishing communities have their livelihoods threatened. Tourism suffers from polluted beaches. Plastic pollution costs the global economy over $13 billion per year, and there's an even greater danger. Degrading marine ecosystems undermines one of our strongest defenses against climate change. Oceans absorb about 30% of the CO2 we emit. This delicate balance is being disrupted. What's being done? Faced with this alarming scenario, initiatives are emerging to capture ocean plastic. Floating barrier systems collect debris for removal. Millions of volunteers participate in beach and river cleanups. Organizations like 4Ocean and Plastic Bank turn collected plastics into new products, creating economic value from waste. On a political level, the UN is leading the Global Plastic Treaty, aiming for international commitments to reduce pollution. Over 175 nations have already agreed to develop a legally binding agreement by 2025. What can we do? The solution starts with individual actions. Reduce your use of disposable plastics. Use reusable bottles, cloth bags, and sustainable packaging. Separate your waste properly. Hold companies accountable for environmental responsibility. Support candidates committed to environmental policies. Join community beach and river cleanups. Support innovations like biodegradable materials and reverse logistics systems. The garbage patch is a monster we created, but it doesn't have to be our fate. Every piece of plastic in the ocean is there because of human choices, and what was done can be undone. We have no right to leave behind dead oceans and toxic beaches for future generations. What we do today will determine whether the garbage patch is remembered as a fleeting shame or the beginning of the end of the oceans as we know them. The choice is ours, and the time to act is now. I hope this documentary has been as impactful for you as it was for me during its production. If this content resonated with you, help us spread the message. Click the like button. Leave a comment sharing your ideas or experiences in reducing plastic use. Share this video with your family and friends. The more people become aware, the better our chances of saving the oceans. Subscribe to the channel for more content about sustainability and the environment. Remember, the planet doesn't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. It needs millions doing their best. Every action counts. See you in the next video.